Hi, and welcome to Entrepreneur Freedom Solutions Show. I'm Eric Asbeck, and for all you podcasting, um, either that you're doing it or you're interested in doing it, we've got a real treat for you today. Sam Lebowitz is the executive producer of talkradio.nyc. Um, it's a big deal, and there's a lot of channels. He's got a lot of really cool folks on the network. So anyway, I'm gonna stop. Hi, Sam. How you doing?
Great, Eric. Thank you so much for having me on your show. I truly appreciate it. Give me
You're
a
welcome.
chance to connect with your audience.
Awesome. I could go on, and I just realized I can let you do that. So
Yeah.
let me just say. So tell me about what's your point of view about podcasting and why it's so important.
So to me, there's never been a better time to get into podcasting because it's really an opportunity to reach a global audience with your voice. And, a lot of people say, oh, podcasting is dead, everything's video now. And I'm not finding that to be the case at all because a lot of people will download a podcast and listen to it while they're going out jogging or mowing the lawn or doing something else, which when it's audio, you can do that. But when it's video, it takes your full attention and you got to watch it. So I believe there's always going to be a place for podcasting. I'm not saying that you shouldn't also do video. Video is also important, but podcasting, there's something very unique about it. And the wonderful thing about it is people connect to your voice.
Yeah.
And when they connect to your voice, they connect to you emotionally. And it's a way of really pulling people in and getting people to resonate with your message that I think is so powerful. And I've seen it work and help people in so many different ways.
Yeah, I'm so with you on that. And also, there are different kinds of people. Different people uh, 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 are prefer to get their information in different modes. And so if you're, sometimes video is awesome. Sometimes they want something written. Sometimes uh, just getting the audio is the perfect vehicle method, mechanism for them. So this is awesome. And it's not going to be maybe for everybody that would be your audience, but there's going to be a lot of folks that are good and people that you may not even have expected. I think that would gravitate to that mode. Make sense?
Absolutely. Especially in the worldwide audience, because, in the United States, in North America, we're kind of spoiled. We all have great internet, and it's not always like that all over the world.
Yeah.
So with audio, it also takes a lot less bandwidth than video. So you'd be surprised. We're on the worldwide part of it. Audio is really a good place to be. Again, like you said, certain people will resonate with it, certain won't. So it's really up for the individual person to decide, what do you like to do? Do you like to
Exactly.
talk? Do you like to be on camera? Do you like to write?
Right.
I always believe in leaning into our strengths. So if you love to talk, it's a great vehicle for connecting to an audience.
Yeah. Yeah. Even if you have videos, you can strip the audio out and you got a podcast.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, well, let me ask, what are some of the what are some of the common myths about podcasting and how would you debunk them?
So one of the things, first of all, is people think, oh, everyone's doing a podcast. It's too crowded a space. I shouldn't bother doing it. And it couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth because if you look at the statistics, less than 1 in 5 podcasts are actually still active. And I forget that number exactly, but it's like over 80% of podcasts never even make it past their 10th episode.
Mm,
So there's a tremendous opportunity for people who are interested in podcasting. So that's number one. Myth number two is that it takes a tremendous amount of time. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't take some time. It absolutely does. But when you've got a system, when you get into your groove and you get into a certain routine, it really doesn't take quite as much time as people think it does. Yes, during the startup phase and when you're getting things launched, the beginning part, absolutely. But after that, you and I say, like, don't make a podcast like this whole separate thing that you do. It
Mm.
should be something that's an integrated part of what you're already doing to market yourself. So if you're already posting on social media, if you're already writing a blog, if you're already doing these other things to put yourself out there, you want to integrate the podcast into it so that you're talking about the exact same things that you're posting about and that you're writing about in your blog, so that you're repurposing content over and over again. Or you use your podcast and you take great material from their podcast and then you use that to make your social media posts and write your blog from it, so you can actually save a lot of time.
Yeah. Some, a lot of it is picking the topic for each communication and like the sort of things that you want to say. And if you figure that out for any written media, then you've done the prep for either video or audio. And so go for it, right?
Exactly. And like, if you're not even sure about how to schedule your content calendar, what to do, if you're doing a show, especially if you're doing an interview show, you can let your guest, like, what is the topic that your guest is talking about? And that can be the topic of the week.
Ah,
So
you've given up my secret.
oh, sorry. Right? And so that's what you're posting about that week. That's what you're writing about that week, because you've already done it for your show. So you've got all this information about it. And then maybe you get a little something extra from your guest that maybe you didn't talk about on the show. And then you include that in the other media. And so this way it becomes a very integral part of your media and what you're putting out there. So it doesn't have to be its own separate thing. And by doing it this way, you're actually saving time as opposed to having to spend more and more time.
Yeah, yeah, and that also by um, basically kind of bundling or reusing the same topics, uh, you can get past that kind of awkward stage of figuring it out and getting past the first 10 episodes and into a flow of things.
And that's what I always say to people. I say, you just want to start as soon as you can, because your first couple of episodes are always going to be your worst episodes, hands down. And that's the good news, because
I've heard
after that,
even the best people I've heard have said that, even like, I did it for months and it just kept feeling horrible. But now I've got this huge audience or whatever.
absolutely. I mean, I've been doing my own show for over 12 years now. I'm booked out with guests until the middle of next year. I've gotten so much benefit from doing my own show. I've gotten a TED Talk because of it. My book I came out with in 2020 hit #1 in 3 different categories on Amazon. There's all kinds of benefits, but it took time to cultivate that. It didn't happen overnight.
Yeah. And it's funny how people respond to you. It's a credibility builder if you're either on the airwaves, so to speak, or on the TV waves, so to speak. I mean, just having yourself visible in that fashion is different somehow than if you are doing written communication.
Absolutely.
It just
Absolutely.
changes their perception of you.
Exactly. And especially if you put it on your business card and you say host of the such and such show. Like in my case, on my business card, it says host of the Conscious Consultant Hour. And so people go, oh, you're a host. And I go, absolutely. I do a weekly radio show. And in my case, our network is an internet radio station. It's not just a podcasting network. So, because we do all of our shows live first. Then we're recording it while it's live, and then we put out the recording afterwards as the podcast. And what I've found is our audience really likes that, because there's a certain authenticity when you're doing something live, when it's
Yeah.
not super edited and very polished, and people connect to that because they don't feel super polished. And by doing it live, it also gives me an opportunity to connect with my audience and engage them and enroll them into the conversation. Like, I know I have a handful of loyal listeners that every week they're tuning into my show. When we stream the video out to Facebook, they're commenting on the Facebook page, they're asking questions. I'm keeping an eye on it. I'll read their comments and questions. And that makes them feel special because I'm recognizing them and I'm pulling them into the conversation, so they keep coming back over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's just something you can't really do that with a pre-recorded show. But when it's a live show, That to me is the magic sauce.
Yeah, your humanity is just on display in a little bit of a raw way, but in a way that's positive. I mean, it's just there you are.
Right.
You are a person, and
Right.
you're not this
Exactly.
perfect. Like people can strive to be like you because they realize that everybody's human.
Exactly. You're like a three-dimensional person with flaws and hang-ups, and you got your own likes and dislikes. And so when people see that, you're much more relatable. It's much easier for people. And again, you're not going to be relatable to everyone, but you are going to be relatable to your tribe, because your tribe are the people who, when they listen to you, just what you say and how you say it, it just resonates with them. And when it resonates with them, then they're going to be more attracted to you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so this is a perfect time for me to ask, um, because you've been doing this for a while and you've worked with a number of people. So, is there somebody that you've mentored or coached that comes to mind, and that would help us to understand the kind of transformation that you provide?
Well, people don't realize really the power of doing a show. And one of my best examples, I use him all the time, is Tony Martignetti. He worked with me for over 10 years. He did a show. He had a very good target market, small and mid-sized nonprofits, not big nonprofits, small to mid-size. And he started with me when I first took over the station, and I coached him about what to do. He did all the right things. He went to nonprofit conferences, and he would set up his booth to interview people there. He brought on really well-known people. He's had on like Seth Godin on his show, Craig Newmark,
Wow.
the guy who created Help a Reporter Out.
Oh, right. I know it, but I don't know him. But yeah, that's
I
a big
forgot the guys.
deal.
Anyway, yeah. So he's had on tremendous people, and what happened is over time he started getting mentioned in these nonprofit industry blogs, and he started getting named as a top thought leader for the year in the nonprofit space. And they would say things like, and if you like our 9 other top 10 thought leaders, they've all been guests on Tony's show. And so, because he had on these great people on his show, I kind of call it the halo effect. Everyone started to think he knew everything about nonprofits, but he actually only does 2 things for nonprofits. And people would start calling him up and say, "Hey, can you do this for me?" He goes, "No, I don't do that." "Hey, can you do that for me?" "No, I don't do that, but I know somebody who
I know
does."
a guy,
Yeah,
so to
I know a
speak.
guy. Yep, he had like his cadre of um, reoccurring guests who would contribute on things like the a legal aspect, the technical aspect, the prospect research aspect, different things like that. He only did charity registration and plan giving, but everything else he would refer to one of his cohort. But he
And
eventually,
that's really that's such a valuable thing to say, because it's like if you try. I mean, I have from myself, I can know some certain things pretty deeply, and then there are other things that I know a little bit, but I just know that I'm not the right person for them to be getting like the kind of guidance they're looking for. But I know somebody
right,
that does,
right. But the
hopefully,
thing
or I'll
is,
go find somebody.
right. But the thing is, by interviewing all those people on your show, then people listening to you think you know everything because you've had all these great guests on.
Right.
And so eventually, what happened to Tony is he became the #1 nonprofit podcast. And on iTunes, he had more than double the number of subscribers that the second number podcast had.
Wow.
So he's really like, and he's like semi-retired now. He moved out of New York City. He's living down in somewhere near Myrtle Beach. But it raised his visibility in his industry tremendously, gave him tons of great content, and he had a lot of fun doing it. And
Yeah.
he ended up like taking a stand-up workshop, and he's actually performed at some of the stand-up comedy clubs in New York City, and he would integrate it in. And he was a really fun interviewer. Like I loved, and listening to him when he did his show, because he just had so much fun doing it, and had this
Sure.
very self-deprecating humor. And so it just, there's so many ways in which having a show can help you and serve you, and if you just stick with it, You know, the transformation over a period of time, it is amazing to behold. And the thing is, it's very incremental, so you don't even notice it until it's like you take a look back 5, 10 years later, go, oh my God, I can't
Right,
believe it. I mean,
right,
I probably have over 650 episodes of my show out there now, because there are many times I did a double episode.
right.
And I just can't believe I've recorded so much content. I have the hard drive at home. I have all these episodes. I'm like, oh my
It's
God.
it's it's literally it's time in the saddle, you
Yeah,
know. And
exactly.
the other thing that kind of shows up is for yourself and for Tony, like I'm sure I suspect that Tony didn't start out by saying, you know what, one of the things I want to do is get some comedy stuff going and integrate that into a show. It was like that sort of happened organically as time went
Right,
on because it was
right,
he was attracted to it, but
right.
those opportunities just sort of start to show up in the flow. So
Mhm.
it's I mean that's my experience at least.
Absolutely. Like, one of the shows on my network now is a show all around pets and animal advocacy. And the woman who started it, and she does it with this, Valerie does it with Tommy. And she was telling me the other day, like, how she's gotten so many opportunities, and she's like, they're doing an event now called the Compassionate Worlds, I think, and they're getting sponsorship for the event because of the show. And she's talking to people about doing businesses with them in the animal industry. And she goes, it's like opened up a whole world to her. Like, this was like just a passion for her, and now it's turning into a thriving business for her.
Which is if you are able to do what you love and it works for your whole life, that's just an awesome thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And go ahead.
I just was thinking, I think people are probably going to be wanting be thinking, yeah, sounds interesting. So the question is, are there some roadblocks they should watch out for?
Well, the first thing is, you want to make sure you do a good show. So you want to get a mentor, a coach, somebody who resonates with you, who can kind of help guide you past the landmines. And you really want to create a show that you want to make sure that your audience is really interested in. So, as you are keenly aware of, I'm a big believer in doing market research. So going out there and ask your target market, like, first figure out who your target market is, but like, ask them, what
Right.
kind of topics should I talk about in this area? I mean, define like what your area is. Like Tony, it's small and mid-sized nonprofits. It's a pretty big area, actually, but it's like, within that, what should we talk about? And then give it to them. I mean, it's amazing. Like, if we actually ask the people we want to serve what they want, they will tell us. They will
It's
tell
so
you.
funny. It's so funny how that works, right?
Yes. And then you give it to them, and they
Yeah.
think you're a genius.
And one of the reasons that you're a great person for me to interview is because the people that I help, entrepreneurs and consultants that want to try to find financial freedom, once that's solved, they still are thinking, well, how can I get more visibility? How can I grow my business and fund the things that my plans and all that sort of stuff? And podcasting, I mean,
But I mean, even if they haven't gotten to that full financial freedom part, doing something like a show, it like helps to raise your visibility, which you need to get to the financial freedom.
totally agree.
Sometimes, again, like, one of the myths of like, oh, I have to wait until I'm super successful to do a show. No, like, doing a show can help you to be successful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, think about it, like, let's say you're building your business, right? And there are a lot of aspects of the business you don't know. Interview people who know those aspects of the business. You can learn so much, and you can
Mhm.
literally build your business while interviewing the experts in the field, and you're getting the best advice. And you just use yourself as a case study, and you implement what they say on your show. And now you've got a successful business because you've had on 20, 30 experts giving you advice on all different things.
It's so awesome. So and that actually makes me wonder, like, if we can, talked a lot about a lot, but is there like one, if people had to walk away with one golden nugget,
Mhm.
what would you do? You have one?
Absolutely. There's one aspect to doing a podcast that I think really doesn't get enough attention. I don't think anyone else besides myself really talks about this, and that's presence. really being present to the person you're talking to on the podcast, whether it's your guest or your audience. Because lots of times I see people and they're chatting with their co-host or they're chatting with their guest, and they're chatting about things that actually have nothing to do with what their guest just said and is completely uninteresting to their audience.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
because of the lack of presence. They think like, oh, I'm just going to talk about whatever. But if you're really present to your guest, you will pick up golden nuggets, and you will then dig deeper into it, that you don't have to be so prepared. Like, one of the things that I feel people waste too much time is too much time preparing, too much time researching their guest. Yeah, you have to know a little bit. You got to talk to them. But what makes a really good podcast is an organic, engaging conversation where you dig in maybe to certain things that your guest says that maybe someone else misses.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, that the biggest compliment I get all the time, especially from people who have like been interviewed on lots of podcasts, they say, "Oh my God, this was the best interview that I've ever done." And it's because I'm very present with my guest.
Yeah.
And I'm not just asking them what they gave me as their talking points or their questions. I'm thinking, what's interesting to me? And what are they saying that in the moment sounds very relevant and sounds like, oh, that would be something juicy to dig into. Let's dig into that.
Yeah. I'm with you. Curiosity is how I kind of frame it in my mind. Just
Yeah.
and to be curious, at least for myself, I'm engaged,
Mhm.
and then wherever the flow is taking us, somebody will say something. I'll be like, "Wow, tell me a little more about that." You
Right.
know?
But when you're present, you'll pick up on things that other people won't.
Yeah. Totally agree. Totally agree. So, just realizing the time. So, is there a question that you wish I'd asked you? And if so, how would you have answered?
I guess maybe if you asked me, like, if for someone starting off, like, where do they go? What do they do just to get started?
Hmm. Perfect question. So, what would you say?
Funny you should ask that, Eric. I actually have a course coming up called Podcast Your Passion, 6 weeks to create and launch your podcast. And I literally step people through week by week, what are all the individual pieces that you need to create and launch your podcast in 6 weeks. So if there are people out there and maybe you're not quite ready to work with someone who has a done for you solution like my radio station, but you do want to give it a shot, I would love to see you, chat with you, and let you know about my upcoming course, which is happening in September.
Awesome. So that begs the question. So, how do people get a hold of you, and how do they get more information about the course?
So the best way is to just email me, sam@talkradio.nyc, not .com, .nyc, because
As
we're in
in
New
New
York.
York City,
Yeah.
NYC. Got it. Hmm.
And yeah, you go to the website talkradio.nyc, and we have a page up there for classes, so that when it'll be updated a little bit later. But yeah, just email me and I'll put you on the list, and I'll make sure that you get the notifications when we launch the next class.
Awesome. Sam at talkradio.nyc. Simple enough.
Yeah.
Hey, this has been super great. And as you had suggested, basically, I've been listening and learning some things and giving some thought myself to how I can make what you just shared work. So thank you
Wonderful.
very much. It's a
Wonderful.
great conversation.
So glad, Eric. So glad. So I'm glad, because it's like when I know I'm helping the host and when I'm helping the person interviewing me, then hopefully people listening to the show also get some nuggets out of this as well.
That's the game plan. Well, thank you, Sam, so much.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. And I'm going to have a free gift for people. It's not quite done yet, but I do have a
Oh,
podcast readiness assessment
mhm.
that's getting built right now as we speak. And so when you email me, if you're interested in the assessment, just let me know and I will send you that link as soon as it launches.
I am so glad you mentioned that. That's an awesome gift.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other gifts?
That's it at the moment. I probably do have some, but you get a secondary gig. But Garrick, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It was fun being on your show and getting to know you a little bit through this vehicle. And thank you. Thank you for the time.
Absolutely. Take care, Sam. Bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.